What's up, guys? Boomstick Gaming, and we have the Bloodborne the Old Hunter's official guide. I'm going to let you know if it's good and what's inside. So starting out, pretty awesome cover. I like it. On the back, we have the Moonlight Greatsword. Fun weapon to use if you haven't used it yet. So I'm going to go ahead and start out, see what we got here. Little introduction. Table of contents. Alright, so here we have how you access the new expansion. Hopefully if you have the expansion, you've at least figured that out by now. We have some of the new NPCs and kind of new features added. This is really in-depth. This is some of the frame data on some weapons. And actually when your window is to interrupt or get a visceral attack on the certain attacks. That's really in-depth. Wow. They did their homework on this one. Alright, so this is the main walkthrough. It's got some really nice maps. It looks like it has all the enemy locations, all the item locations. Kind of the route you would take. Really well put together walkthrough here. I'm going to jump forward a bit. Kind of get the gist of the walkthrough section. Alright, so this is going to highlight the enemies, which I'm a big fan of this section. Yeah, so it breaks down all the new enemies. Gives you a synopsis, a little bit of backstory, which may not even be in the game, which is cool. Their resistances, more enemies. I might have to refer to this for my creature showcases. I like to just highlight certain elements from the game that I don't think get a whole lot of attention, because the amount of detail just in any single part of this game is amazing. And it fascinates me to just kind of focus on one certain element of the game. Okay, so that's the enemies. Here's bosses. Shows all their different attacks. It's all the phase 1 attacks, all the phase 2 attacks, how to dodge every attack. It's pretty cool. Arsenal and attire. Okay, so this is going to be the weapons. This is pretty cool. Cool way to show the animation of the attacks. Gives you all kind of data, how much stamina each attack takes, the amount of damage, some different combos you can do. Pretty cool. Let's get to attire. Oh, here's some of the just general items. It also shows you all the in-game text. Actually, that looks longer than the in-game text. So these actually might have a little more detailed item descriptions in this book. Some of the new runes. Oh, here's the armor sets. So it breaks down every attribute on every armor set, where to find it. Some more backstory on where it came from. So I mean, I've beat the whole expansion and done everything, but I still wanted this for, you know, the lower perspective on a lot of this stuff. There's a lot of detail to be had here. Okay, here's NPCs. Get a whole bunch of story and all kinds of stuff about them. Oh, these are some of the summoned NPCs you can do, which actually makes the game a lot easier now that I'm playing through it from start to finish over again with that new feature. It's really easy just to use an NPC buddy. It's more like Dark Souls now, where there's usually a free 1 or 2 NPC buddies you can summon before a boss. The bosses do get more health, but just having an NPC hold the aggro helps a lot. Which I'm surprised they kind of made the game, easier, but it's cool. Okay, so more items. Ooh, trophy guide. There's not a ton of trophies in this expansion, but it shows you how to get each one. The story of Yharnam. Okay, looks like they they kind of break down the timeline of the universe and try to explain the story. That's impressive. I'll have to really read this. Looks like they highlight some of the key items that have a lot of lore to them. Healing Church lore. Yeah, this is probably the most important lore section here. I'll have to read this later. They really wanted to explain the story here. Wow. Alright, some art. That's a cool character. Pig. So some of these enemies are new, some of them are kind of old, but still really amazing art. That brings us to the close with the index, and overall that is a really well put together guide. Like, the amount of detail that they focused on in this is pretty much unparalleled. So overall synopsis, definitely worth it if you're a Bloodborne fan. And if, like I said, you've already beat all this, you don't really need necessarily the tactics on how to beat the game. It's still fun to, see all this in-depth item descriptions, lore, enemy data, frame data. So, really good. So, Bloodborne, the Old Hunter's Guide. Let me know what you guys think. And thanks for watching Boomstick Gaming.